Good evening, friends. It is a busy time at our house. What time is not busy? I'm sure your house feels the same way some days. It is almost 7 o'clock. It is 6:40, and on my perfect to-do list, I had dinner time at 4:30 today. What happened was Naomi, Gabriel, Liam, and Amelia and I went way down in our forest. We went to one of our streams. It has a raging waterfall because we've had so much muted and wonderful rain lately. And we just ended up wasting away our afternoon, and I use that term waste loosely. We had a wonderful afternoon playing in the waterfall, playing in the stream. I took our new read aloud, which is Despero, with us, and I read to them about 3 chapters of that at different points while they played. It was just a great time. So that just pushed dinner way far out, and now several of the kids are playing. Naomi's resting on the couch. Big boy Zion's actually folding a big load of socks, and Jaden's working on shooting one of his videos. And my husband is outside in the garage welding on our lawnmower that is in desperate need of repair. So, what is on the menu for today is Trim Healthy Mama inspired egg roll in a bowl. Now there are tons of egg roll in a bowl recipes out there. I think I've adapted it a little bit over time. However, it's a super simple recipe. I'm gonna show you everything I have. We're gonna throw it all together. We're still gonna get dinner on the table, although it might not be until 7:30 tonight. We're gonna have a fairly healthy dinner. So let me show you what I got. Okay, what I have here is I have the main ingredients is some beef and some cabbage. I've had times where I've had extra veggies to add in and times where I don't. Also sesame seed oil. So if you have cabbage, sesame seed oil, and beef, you can pretty much do egg roll in a bowl. Now, what I'm also going to add in is some carrot shreds, a green pepper, some mushrooms, some celery, and some cauliflower. I'm also going to add in a big onion. And so this is just going to be a fabulous egg roll in a bowl. Also, think of it as a deconstructed egg roll. And it's great, so let's make it now. So what I have going right now is I just got 4.5 pounds of ground beef going on the stove. So you'll see, voila. Lots of ground beef cooking there, and now I'm just going to start chopping all these vegetables. Again, I have cabbage, I have mushrooms, I have cauliflower, celery, carrots, and a green pepper. Really, as long as you have cabbage, that's the big bulky base, you can throw in any other kind of vegetable that your family likes into the mix. Can hear me over the noise of the fan, but I am flipping the meat now, and I'm also in the middle of chopping veggies. So Daddy's working out there, sweetie. Come here. I also added in the green peppers, and I'm going to add an onion into the meat now. So far I have the cabbage cut, I have half a cauliflower, probably about 5 or 6 stalks of celery. Now I've got about 8 mushrooms. I'm going to chop up a whole onion, and then I'm going to shred some carrot. And then we'll start combining all this together. cup of sesame seed oil to my very hot pan and get my cabbage in there so it can soften. My meat is drained and my other veggies are ready to go. So this is what a whole cabbage looks like in my pan. It's a big mountain now, but it will reduce down. Here's a peek, and I'm gonna put a lid on it and it'll cook on down for us. And here's how the cabbage is looking after being covered for a few minutes. It is starting to reduce down. I, of course, could really use some larger pans. I have cooked in this large pan for probably 10 years and my cast iron skillet as well. But if you have any large pans that you cook large meals in, please let me know, because I think there's probably bigger ones out there than what I'm currently using. So how I'm going to put this meal together is, since there's no way I can cook egg roll in a bowl in one single pan, it is not a one-pan dish if you're cooking it large family style. So I have this large Rubbermaid container, and I'm going to dump my meat in there because that's ready, and then I'm going to dump my cabbage in there, and then when my other vegetables are cooking, I'm going to dump them in there, and I'll mix it in my large Rubbermaid container. And that's how it's going to come together for us. If you are making a smaller version of this recipe, you can do the whole thing in one pan. It's just not possible for me if I'm going to feed 9 with it. So I'm going to dump my ground beef in here. Excuse the zoo noises in the background, but it is feeding time. Ha ha. There's the ground beef. And here's how the cabbage is coming out. It's just about done. I am using my mama eyeballing skills to know when the cabbage is done. It's probably been cooking for about 4 to 5 minutes, so you know how I do it. A little of this, a little of that. Oh, cook it for a few minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to dump this in with my large container of ground beef. Whee! There's the science behind that. Okay, and so now, here's how it's looking so far. And I've got my ground beef and my cabbage, and now I need to steam up my other veggies to bring everything together. This part, when I do the rest of the vegetables, I'm adding in a cup of soy sauce that I'm going to cook them in. In the Trim Healthy Mama book, they have some alternatives to soy sauce. There's other alternatives you can find online. I just had a big old bottle of soy sauce in my refrigerator, so I'm using what I have on hand. I'll give you a peek at what's going on here. Naomi, Gaby, Liam, and Amelia are playing birdies, and they've made bird's nest on the floor. So here's a peek. There's the little bird nest happening. Everybody say hi, friends. Hi, friends. Hi, friends. They're birds. They're birds, and they're eating cheese sticks. So now I'm going to add in everything else. So I'm stirring everything around for a moment, and then I'm going to put the lid on and let it cook for several minutes. Here's my makeshift lid. That's actually the lid off my big cast iron skillet. And while we're waiting on the rest of those veggies to cook, I'm going to show you guys some video clips of just footage I took on my phone today while the kids and I were over at one of the waterfalls playing. Just a few quick snippets, and I'll be right back to show you those veggies. Are you at your waterfall? Yeah. Yeah, what you doing? Just watering. Are you watering the waterfall? You want to climb the waterfall too, baby? Yeah. Woo! My wizard has a bunch of waterfalls. Oh! Daddy's going to have to go. Down. You're pretty high. Yeah, that's how high the wizard is. Ah! I'm very high. You are. So here we go, guys. This took about 10 minutes for this side of things. So now we're going to combine it all in our big Rubbermaid container. Okay, here we go. We also have bird nest in the background with the kids playing baby birds. I will scrape that in a minute. So here is what our large container of egg roll in a bowl looks like, and now I'm going to stir it up. I'll probably have to set the camera down while I do this. So in closing, here is what the entire mixed up egg roll in a bowl looks like, and here it is in my bowl. And so we will just serve this in bowls. You could also do quinoa or brown rice for your family. There's some other ways you could do it, I'm sure. Down in the description below, you will have my link to my large family style version of this recipe. And I will also have, I have a Pinterest boards with more egg roll in a bowl ideas. And I also have links to other mamas who have shared their versions of this Trim Healthy Mama inspired recipes. So we'll see you then. Bye-bye.